my friends, it's time to turn the key. Release your stress and pain along with me, yeah. It's not about perfection, it's about the connection. Now put it on your canvas and let it be.
How's everybody doing today? I am Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa. On the mic is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
And today I think we're at leg 3 of our flower elf.
Indeed.
Do we have the picture-in-picture, Mr. Cooney?
I think we do.
That's awesome. We have picture-in-picture. If you're brand new here and YouTube just dropped this weird live in your feed saying you might enjoy live creativity, you're in the middle of a project. So, yay, algorithms. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? So we're doing this painting in stages. This is part of something I call the Big Art Quest. Started it as just a way to talk about materials and media so people wouldn't be intimidated in the art store. It's gone on. We've had themes, and now we're into this fairy tale theme, which has been a lot of fun for me. We picked a lot of really great projects, this being one of them. We're going to be doing skin tone blocking and dress blocking today. We'll take her along. I'm going to be sipping my coffee because it's been a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a day, John. How's it been for you guys? It's been a day for me. Whew.
Yeah, no, it's... we have a huge crowd of people hanging out.
Now,
I am still just making sure I get all my buttons pushed in the right order.
the first thing is, we just want to acknowledge right now that what happened in Florida is just really sad, and we just send our light and love to all the families. And if you guys are doing wishes for that, even on Big Art Quest Day, of course, we totally support that. It's just, the world. I'm going to chalk it up to that. The world.
We're just going to send our light and love out to all the
Light
families.
and love out to everybody. If you want to know what we're painting with today, I swear there's a lot of things that just have me. That picture is really big. Let me move this all over.
I can make that picture smaller. Hold on.
Can you?
Yep. Oh, I can.
I'm like,
It is a big picture.
because this is the little palette, so now I actually need the room.
See, I can go, I can make it a little smaller. And then I can zoom into it as we need to.
Yeah.
And move it around the screen for us a little bit.
I'm going to just
That
put
way I can
out
give you a little bit more palette space.
some basic stuff for some skin tones. Normally I have this out, but I have to tell you guys today, between the tragedy going on in the world and everything that goes on Facebook, it is just nearly impossible anymore to make a video. Isn't that true, Mr. Cooney?
Yeah.
And I love this. I really want to just really explain to you, like, even on days where it's a rough day, I'm so grateful to be here. Because just like you can put everything down and reset and feel better, I do too.
Yeah.
Like, art is still just as therapeutic to me today as it has been at any point in my life. Actually, at times when I'm like ill or I can't paint, it's a real struggle for me because this is probably my primary self-care methodology. You know, for how I keep myself like very centered and my well-being protected and projected, as they will say. I'm putting in all these beautiful acrylic paints. I love these. These are so yummy. Not that you should ever eat paint.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, apparently there's a whole thing. There was a crazy post in the Art Sherpa official group today of a guy spitting paint out his nose. Pretty horrifying. I was not into it.
What?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't for me. It was really weird because it had like a really crazy reaction to it, and I guess that makes it art because my reaction came like before my higher thought happened, where I was like, ew. I am gonna be probably putting everything out today, but I don't expect to put out the green today. Is the color I don't expect to do. I'm definitely going to do titanium white and zinc white. I've been seeing your paintings in the Big Art Quest group on Facebook. And I have to say that's been really, really fun. Just seeing everybody's paintings. I clearly don't have my glazing medium now that I'm looking.
Ooh, I'll grab that.
Where is my glazing medium? Yeah, when
can't
I'm
be
on my
without that.
mobile mic, I could literally look for glazing medium and walk away off camera and
But see,
still
then you
be
disappear.
fine.
You then disappear. So
then disappear. So, yay, groups on Facebook. It's a weird thing if you happen to be on Facebook. Well, one, we know you're not like a teenager because there's no actual teenagers on Facebook. Glazing medium. Glazing medium. I think it's those bottles there. A gloss or gloss is fine. That's fine. Yeah, gloss glazing liquid. Okay, so this is how I slow down the drying time of my paint and let myself do glazes in the same, in the same product. John, I just realized that you don't have a transporter. You don't dematerialize and rematerialize at the switcher. I see you over there and I start showing things to the palette cam. What you didn't see, there's so much stuff you guys don't know. What you didn't see is John, and he's a big guy, fling himself across the studio to hit the switcher. Sometimes I think we take ourselves too seriously.
Well, I'm not. What it is I want everybody to see, and I'm not so I'm into showing you guys what's going on here. So for me, it's really exciting to be able to I control the camera. I get to see what I get to in some ways control what you guys see. So for me, I'm really into talking to you in chat. When you tell me to zoom in or to change some settings or color.
I know it. I'm throwing out, I'm going to do the thing that we always do, which is where I interrupt John. I'm throwing out some, one of the things, if you guys know, because we get a lot of feedback, and I actually love feedback, even sometimes negative feedback I'm pretty cool with, because it's informing, right? It tells you something. But one of the one is the way John and I sometimes talk over each other. But what you might not know is I'm sitting here literally watching my paint dry very, very quickly. And sometimes I feel like this panic, oh my gosh, it's going to be dry before we start this painting because we're so chatty.
Some days.
So what I've done is I've added kind of a 1-to-1 mixture of quinacridone and the yellow ochre. And I'm kind of cooling it with a little of the alizarin crimson. And I'm going to use this, what I'm making here, as a base skin tone. We have a lot of videos on skin tones, but what I'll tell you about skin tones is that you want to create a master recipe that you work from. Let's put a little burnt umber into that. And then you lighten or cool or warm that base recipe, and that will let you really improve how your skin tones come out. Now and notice I haven't added any white. I'm going to use this as my base recipe. I am going to add a little glazing liquid just to slow the drying time down. So I have a minute here, so we don't have to go through this whole lesson in a total panic because the paint is drying. Because, acrylic paint, that's its whole feature, is it dries. But from here, I can darken it. I can take a little of my blue and make shadows. See how that makes a nice shadow skin tone?
Yeah.
That you could have. I can add more browns. I can add more yellow. I can add either of these two pinks, a lot of white, some zinc, and it just gives me a lot of options. Whatever else you've got going on, getting a master skin recipe that you enjoy making will definitely improve your painting experience. And I think the most important thing that you want to work on, the first skill, is to improve your painting experience. Really embrace those things that make your painting time more enjoyable, and kind of avoid those things that take that away. Right. So, obviously we can't always do that because, family. You can't be like, I'm not enjoying this. Members of your family are like, but yeah, you still have to cook dinner and do the laundry. I've been going with the no laundry for years.
So I had my mic off there for a little while. Apparently.
Oh, did you?
I was I'm not sure which part it was, the part where I was leaping across the screens or where, but I apologize, guys, that I had my mic off there.
We're so professional.
Yes. Clearly.
We're so professional. All right, let's start. We're going to block her in. We're going to just start putting in her dress and putting in her face and kind of getting those values. And we'll take her for a little bit today. Full disclosure, because I'm all about just telling you exactly what's going on. I kind of like a crazy morning on Facebook, and sometimes it leaves me So bear with me while I find my zen again. I love social media because I get to meet everybody and know everybody and know their stories. And believe it or not, I love answering the art questions or meeting the people. I'm pulling out just a little bit of pigment. I'm going to start lightening it with the white and make sure I've got a color that I'm enjoying here, that I feel like this is what I want to use. In what way? That's how you kind of tell if you like your skin tone. You're like, is this to this? Is this to this? And just looking at her skin tone, already I can see that this is a nice color, but actually it probably needs to be more yellow. So much fussing. So sometimes like it's so funny, people will be like, oh, I'm so sorry I'm asking questions. I'm like, no, I love the questions. That's like the best and only good thing about the Facebook is the questions and meeting everybody and seeing their paintings and knowing their stories. You know? I wish they had better tools for the feed, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. I think everybody missed the part where I was saying how much I love controlling the cameras and being the eyes for everybody. And that's why I was leaping across the room, is because I get excited to show everything that's going on. And then they didn't hear any of that. They just heard me mumbling in the background.
Well, that's what we always hear you do. Mumble, mumble.
That's true. I'm just sort of...
This is a number 2 Cambridge, and I just grabbed this today. I really like these little brushes. Sometimes I like to change up brushes because when we as artists have like products out there like I do, like I have my brushes, which I love, it's important that you guys know that you don't have to have a particular tool to just get something done. You know, it's not, oh, isn't that nice? That's a nice color. Okay, I like that. I still think it needs to be warmer, but I like it, so I'm going to go with it.
Which brush are you using there?
I'm using a number 2 Cambridge. I really like the Cambridge brushes. They are a synthetic filament mixed with bristles. And I just really enjoy them. Would not be a good option if you're a vegan. But a really great option if you're okay with that.
Now, what you mean by that is that these have a blend of natural hair, which and I think it comes from boar or pig.
Boar.
And
they don't ever kill like a pig to get hair. It's like just something that brush companies negotiate for.
Right. It's just, you know, they buy those as another product that comes from that market. And I'm
adding a little pink to like pink it up because I'm gonna do her ears.
So that's it's an actual natural product. So that's why.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's good. You know, they've been using that for a long time, and it actually has benefit, especially when you blend it with that synthetic. It makes that cool brush.
And in general, there's no really endangered animals or anything used anymore.
No.
Interesting elf point. Whatever ears you're making, if you're making fantasy ears, imagine that your fantasy creature is wearing glasses. This was actually a tip from a community member, this way that they expressed it, and I still love it. That's actually from Lisa. You imagine that they're wearing glasses, and the top of your ears should put glasses nicely on the face. So I'm just making sure that that's there, and I'm going to come down. And now, like right under here, I can add a little shadow color. See, I got this darker color, and I'm putting it right there so that I can just have a little bit of a shadow under the neck when I'm coming down. I'll remember to refine it or define it further. Still coming there. John, it's just been a day. I'm trying so hard.
Well, you know, we all have those days.
We do, man.
I'm like pushing buttons and jumping all over.
Yeah, you just have those days, don't you? You cannot be perfectly centered every day. That would be actually really, that's when you start getting to the village and stuff like that. Honestly, that's a little scary. I'm lightening this back up again. If you're too centered all the time, let's be honest, that's a little scary.
And you like to use this time as painting as a way for you to relax and recenter. Even here on the show, we do that.
Honestly do. I love, 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 love teaching art. It's like my favorite thing. And I'm so grateful to be able to have this be what I get to do every day. I'm super, super, super grateful. This is all going to be under hair, so I don't really need to worry about the shoulder. And she's going to have a lot of this under the foliage that I guess we're going to put in tomorrow. So I'm going to just put in some skin tone, but I'm not going to really worry about it that much. You can even kind of come with like the darker skin tone where you know you're going to have the branch over her and kind of blend that in. And then if there's any peeking out, it'll look like you have flesh tone, but it won't be. It's really not going to be showing. So don't feel like you've got to be precious in this area. Unless preciousness makes you super happy, and then be as precious as you like, for goodness sakes. I would never ever want to take somebody's favorite joy away.
No.
They're like, but I love preciousness. I'm like, well, okay, Gollum. I don't want to take away your joy, little dude. Yeah, it's been a trip lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so funny because like I had a bunch of inbox messages. I'm just softening this here. About like, oh, you're working so much. I'm worried about you, which I really appreciate. This part, though, let me really be clear. This part where I get to be with you for an hour and talk to you about art is literally the easiest part of my day.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's my favorite thing is to be able to watch Cinnamon paint. So what I now get to do is hang out with a few hundred of my friends and we get to watch Cinnamon paint. And I have some really cool cameras that I get to zoom in on it with.
You are literally part of the best part of our day.
Yeah. Best part of our day is this with you guys.
Yeah. And we just adore. I'm making some more background color here. I just mixed the alizarin and a little dioxazine.
Yeah, we should focus. Why we're here.
You know, we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay.
If you guys were in my art studio right now, there would be a little music. We would be painting and chatting. For sure, there would be snackies.
Oh, I rue the day of Content ID.
Let's see how that's looking.
No music in the background. Otherwise, I would be putting on some fat
Facebook
beats.
has it now, too. So John's awesome DJ skills, I think. And then even Twitch got us once. We tried Twitch because John is like the best DJ.
I know. But
He's really good.
I have a reasonable sense of music.
I may not be reasonable about your skills, man. I may not be. I'm very fond of you. John is like a really good DJ, and so we had tried Twitch, but they got us too. Apparently, Disney is everywhere.
You're
I'm just kind of refining around my figure. I just want to do this. It's just helping me hold the space.
Now I noticed you dashed around a little leafy-looking thing under her arm.
I know I did too.
Wait,
I preserved that little weird bit of kit, didn't I?
Yeah, I see you preserving that. So what you're doing is just kind of dashing in some shadows there.
I'm putting in the dark shadows and kind of trying to clean up the line around her. This is still fuzzy, which is why I'm using this brush, and then she'll be more in focus. I'm going to rinse this out. And then as we fill these parts in, she'll start to come together. I think we'll get pretty far today. I'm pretty excited about it. I have to tell you guys, I swear, I meant to go by group and say that YouTube had some sort of clocks. They always say it's not us, but it had some sort of clock scheduling thing.
Oh my gosh.
Where it moved the time on me. And so John's like, why is it at 1? And I'm like, it's not at 1, it's at 11:30. That's why it's on the banner. I put it on the banner, put everything on the banner, 11:30.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, if it was, I need this to be a little bit darker. He's like, it's not now. I'm going to get a little more of my yellow ochre. See, I'm warming this up. I'm just paying attention to what I'm seeing here on her skin, and I'm just making a slightly darker tone. And so we go to look, and sure enough, some of the upcoming events were in Pacific time, and then a bunch of them were put on General Mountain.
Yeah, it was really strange.
Very strange. And I have to tell you, like, sometimes we will, because we have like dental appointments or kid events, bump, the base core time of Alive. But this one today was actually not us.
No. Now, our usual, we're going to be on time. We're 10 minutes late. Man, that's just us.
That's kind of when I'm like, oh, Facebook today. Because, like, what'll happen is, like, things will be real calm, about to go. And then, like, boom, the group will, like, explode over something. And I'm like, oh, I have to directly address this now. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And then we have to do that. And then we're like, rush, or, kids. Or then my very favorite, everything that worked yesterday doesn't work today.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say while you sip her coffee, don't forget to check the description below for all of the cool stuff. Check out our website because there's lots of cool resources out there.
If you'd like to learn to paint like this and you don't mind being social and hearing talking, we are awesomest.
We talk.
If you need quiet, I guess you could hear the mute button, but really.
Yeah, there's a mute button.
There's a mute button.
You could just read the subtitles.
So I'm going to go with the slightly lighter values that come off the arm. I know, it's like so crazy. That's too light.
That's very light.
It's very light. I'm going to add some more pigment to it. So that's what we're just doing. We're like lightening it, but you're just kind of evaluating. And I know I want to have some light on this arm. Don't worry if like something gets a little over exaggerated or just whatever, because you can always like knock it back. It's more important though that you find your values. I'm putting a little more of the base mix in here, in this, and come around here. I'm so excited. I'm really loving these. And I love that we know what the 12 are before we start. So it's just like each month we're like working on this fairy tale. Because we have all 12 planned out. I'm going to get some more of the shadow color and work it in here. Let's add a little of the alizarin and... Whoop, nope. That was purple. Don't add purple to the skin tone. So I'm going to get a little of my alizarin into the shadow color and then come here and just make some shadow shadow skin tone. All right, let's warm up the elbow. Oh, look at that. See, that's warm now. And there's a rosy glow to it. And we'll come around here, and there's just a bit of form and value. And I'm just blending. I'm using this brush, and I'm just softly blending. There we go. It's just fun to do. I wiped off with my towel, and I'm going to, keep going. That's what I'm going to do. What are you going to do?
DT says you'd have to be crazy to mute Sherpa.
DT, thank you so much. I so appreciate everybody who's okay with me just being myself. It's really been an unexpected benefit of this teaching process, because I honestly came on YouTube not thinking that would be the case.
Yes.
I talked with John about that. Like, would I be able to handle it?
Ooh.
I'm going to put a little light here on her arm, but just a smidge.
Now, Rain Panda says it's been very, very helpful to have all of these 12 in advance. That there's been lots of pencil sketching, and that's been useful.
Oh, yeah. If you can do value sketches and pencil sketches, fair warning, some of the examples, like our first couple, we're being pretty true to the reference. But after next month, which is Ushas, right? After next month, hey, babe.
Trying to find the button.
Oh, okay. That's not it.
I was
After
typing
next
and
month, which is Ushas, and if I said that wrong, I'm really, really sorry. I'm going to change up. I think the mermaid, everything after that, I change up a lot. I'm going to be adding a lot more fantasy elements. There's going to be more references coming involved. You're going to see some I cannot wait for the mermaid, but you're going to see a lot of stuff. All the mermaid related ones everything's going to be changed. Be excited.
Well, I'm excited.
Be excited. Stuff is happening. I'm describing it badly, but it's afoot. Oh, brush put back unwashed. So see this here? This brush was put back unwashed. I'm going to have to take this out and recover it.
We will do that later.
Yeah.
Spa day.
Spa day.
Okay, so just so you guys know,
I'm going to grab another one.
Totally recoverable.
Yeah.
They're just, you don't want to abuse your brushes by leaving paint in them, but a little bit of cleaning, a little bit of spa prep day.
Like this one here is going to go to the spa. See how it's all flared out?
Not really up there. You can you just show on the...
Okay. I don't know.
That's right there. Just you stay put.
I'll go over dark because it's white.
Yeah.
So see, it's a little bit flared out. And I can tell you what's happened here. Wherever they're flared out like this, there is paint in the ferrule. So I haven't been getting the paint out of the ferrule.
Yeah.
And at this point, I have to get all this paint completely out of the ferrule till about here on both of these. And then I can start taking them through a reshaping process. And I can get them all the way back to new. And we're going to actually do some interesting videos about that process, how I do that soon. Because I think that you guys will really benefit from knowing how to recover a tool that you think you've lost. I'm going to get my little shadow color here. I'm going to load up on my little brush. Whatever little brush I've got here. And paint it on in around the hand, because the hand has a nice deep shadow. Does it not? I don't know. I'm saying it does, though. It does. Adding a little bit of my Prussian to that mix to even cool it and deepen it. And so that's an important thing. Like, you can really do a lot. I really haven't had a brush I've ever had to throw away. Unless when I bought it and washed it the first time, all the bristles fell out. And that is, that would be bad, as Egon would say on Ghostbusters. You definitely don't want all your brushes to fall out. That is manufacturing. We've been just talking. I pretty much, like, everything you guys say out there on the web, I read and listen to, and I actually appreciate it. I appreciate how you guys always give us feedback and let us know what your experience is.
Not that I want to further distract her, but what I will tell you guys is so funny is that if you show Cinnamon a place where she can answer questions to our community, she just starts going uncontrollably. And I only say this because, as you guys know, we've been updating our website, and today we showed her a new tool, and before we got through demonstrating the tool, she was responding and answering questions to people.
It's just like, but they haven't been answered.
So tell them what you're doing with the fingers.
So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of deepening the value around my little finger sketch here. just so that I have the shadow that I need before I paint them in. You know, that's going to help me. It's the difference between the value of this shadow underneath the hand and the highlights on the hand that's going to give it the shape. So I've really, really got to do my best to, you know, find those and express those and work that out. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to also put some glazing medium out because this stuff is, what is with the paint drying so fast lately? There's a, not to be, I'm not going to call anybody out, but there's a channel that I firmly believe is not using acrylic because the paint never dries. Like, seriously, I would go to like an in-person class just to see like what was being used because I'm like, this paint never dries. All right. So my paint dries on me a lot. Like a lot. I need more shadow under this hand here. So I'm going to come right here into my little shadow color and be like, oh no. Right here at the bend, you should be a little shadowy. Tiny triangle. Are you able to get really up on this?
As close as I can.
Okay. The new cameras I'm so excited about because they really, really, really get up on it. And we'll have those, you know, pretty soon. And so that's going to be sort of fun. And we will be doing some of our quests this year with that. And I think we're really going to see some details and see some stuff. I'm just taking my base mixture and getting right into my white. So I'm going to just blend right here. I'm going to put on my glasses because you know what's
All
wrong
right.
with Mama? Besides needing another sip of coffee and having my coffee reheated. I think there's drops of water in here. I'm going to clean these glasses, then I'm going to use them to see. This is a top Sherpa tip. Clean your vision enhancers. And they will work better. This is why I will never be Martian. From that movie, that guy was like, in that space, he's like, I grow potatoes. I'll be like, I meditate and die. Accept my situation. Because I'm thwarted by things like drops on my really awesome epic glasses that I love. So I'm just trying to find that space into my shadow. I'm even going to go in here into the base skin tone. I'm just going to try to blend this out. This shadow right here, look, if you're feeling like frustrated with hands, I get it. They have some interesting challenges in those shadows and the way that they express. There we go. Look at that. So we have just a pocket of a little bit deeper shadow here. And then I have a little bit of a skin tone and shadow there. And then as I lighten things and come around the fingers, it's going to like take shape. Like I do want to make sure though that I have shadows in certain places. So like if there's two fingers together, you know, how we reveal them is by the shadow between them. But what sometimes is easier for me is to paint them with the shadow color, you know, and then come back. Now, here's full disclosure. You're going to lose some of your hard work to the flowers at some point, and don't feel bad about that. You guys were like, I killed myself, and I worked, and then we painted over it with flowers. I'm like, yes, is art. Is art.
Is art.
Is art. I'm going to deepen the shadow like right here around this finger. Around this finger here. Deepening it. I'm feeling so much better, y'all.
Oh, me too. And, you know, we have such a lovely community. I want to say thank you to Rebecca and all of the people out here who are just hanging out with us. And, you know, I see them here all the time. And it's what makes it wonderful for me to do this. So thank you guys.
John really loves this.
Yeah, this is my favorite thing to do.
John
Except
used-
when I get to look at your pictures.
John used to be kind of in the corporate world.
Yes, very much so. In a
And-
strange one, though. It was the video game corporate world.
But I think you enjoy this much more.
Yes, much more.
I think John enjoys this much more. And video gaming is cool. Like, if you work in gaming, it's cool. We're not saying that it's not cool, because obviously it's super cool.
Yes.
But I'm just saying of, like, both things, I think being stunt hands has been,
Well,
at first a kidnapping, but now I think you're, like, a willing...
Yeah, well, now we get to
Kidnapping.
apply said game development skills to awesome community building stuff,
You have no idea.
which is super fun.
He does like it. He does like it. All right, I am adding some white to this. I'm going to go and get a little of my ochre because, again, I feel like there's this warm yellow in her skin tone.
Yep.
I've got to capture. And I'm going to start just kind of maybe trying to capture some of that highlight in her hand. And then it can be super challenging to catch this. So I may have to adjust, guys. That is just sometimes what it is. As I am trying to paint fingers. So just know, even for me, it's definitely 2 steps forward, a couple steps back. I work my way through. A while ago, I decided, actually back in art school, you know, when I would be surrounded by people for whom this was maybe an easier skill, they you know, put that energy into that I wasn't going to not do it because it took me a minute more to get there. I think I even talked to you about that, John. Remember? Where I was like, I'm just not going to hold back because, you know, I'm not living up to some weird other expectation. I'm going to put a shadow behind this finger.
Yeah, I think what was really amazing is that having this wonderful community here with us has validated all of the decisions that we're making.
Really?
Well, I mean, like,
I'm going to switch to this detail brush right here.
this
is number 1.
If they were doing it wrong, if we were doing it wrong, they would tell us and we would change.
Yeah, you guys are a blessing in that, you know, you let us know what you think. I know I just that poll in group, like, hey, we're getting weird feedback. What do you guys think? And you came right in and told me. And so then I know, okay, well, that's just, it really helps me center out what is noise and doesn't matter and what I really should be listening to, which is you. You guys are my first, like, concern. So if you guys are okay, then I'm okay. If you guys are like, hey, then I'm like, okay, let's listen to this. So I'm just kind of trying to pull in the shadow. I'm trying to keep this hand a little delicate. You can kind of see I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. I'm gonna, woof. The only thing I don't like about detail brushes, short-handled detail brushes, short handles especially, is to get a detail brush clean, you've really got to get it in there. You don't want to press it to the bottom of your jar because that'll flail out all your filaments, right?
Yes.
And shorten the life of your brush if it's touching the bottom of your jar. But you need to swish it enough so that you get all the paint out of it. But then it traps all these weird little droppy drops, which is why you always see me doing that.
Doing what? Show me.
I rub my fingers down I squeegee my brush all the time. And to be really honest, the fact that I've got to go so deep, they're really pretty good about putting the seal in fairly tight in the way they seal it. But then, you know, you've got the water above you and you're like, all the things.
The important part is not to let it soak in water.
Don't let it soak in water.
Yeah.
I say this as somebody who constantly soaks it in water.
Yeah, and short soaks in alcohol, you know, can help.
Do not break down the glue.
Yeah, they break down the paint much faster. They aren't going to hurt the filament in most good quality brushes.
We're going to do a whole thing. Like, I'm going to take some detail brushes and destroy them and then show you how I can get them back.
What are you mixing?
I am just trying to mix a slightly pinker skin tone. So I've taken a little of my yellow ochre and a little of my quinacridone into this yummy bit of my skin area. And I'm just looking for something that's just the tip of the fingers. The thing is, like, okay, full disclosure, I'm just going to tell you right now because my friend Jenny Jan just got hit over a manicure really hardcore. I know. My nails are not done.
Oh,
I know. I'm going to do them later. That
nails
being
to be
said,
done.
I'm here busily trying to find like a slightly pink. If you look here, if you look at your own fingers, they're not the same uniform skin all the way through. And so you've got to figure out how you can talk about that in your painting. You know, how do you express what you're seeing in your painting? So that's what I'm trying to do, is get some of this discussed here where we're going to be under the flowers. And don't give yourself too much grief, because what are you going to have? You're going to have a bunch of flowers all in this mess. So if you boo-booed, you're okay. That is the big thing in art, is just knowing when it's fine, when you need to be stressed about it, and when you don't need to be stressed about it. Right? That is a big thing.
All right, so I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna zoom in that mixing page there for just a little
Are
bit.
you? Because it's so far out.
Yeah, just I'm gonna get a little zoomed in on that. So
Okay. All right, I'm gonna get just a little more finger color though.
Come back over there.
Okay.
I want to see.
I just grabbed some more of the exact color. I'm just shaping my fingers the way I want them to be shaped.
They're seeing me adjust the camera here.
Are they? That is interesting for them, I would think.
I didn't know that you were over there. You were over there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they can see you now.
Okay, I'm just adding a little highlight here. I'm just trying to shape out this space. And this isn't a thumb, and right now to me, it's reading as a thumb. And the reason it's reading as a thumb is the bend of the tip of the finger here. See how it's
Gotcha.
bent kind of that way? And so to your brain, instead of feeling like a pinky, it's reading like a thumb. And I have got to fix that. And so what I'm going to do to fix that is actually just try to adjust where this finger is. And then I'll trim it down. So see, I've changed the direction of it. Otherwise, it's going to read as a thumb. And we don't need an extra thumb. She's elvish, but we never heard of that kind of elf, so...
Multi-thumb.
Not that there is anything wrong with having multi-thumbed. Multi-thumbs, get on with yourself, right? All right, so there we go. And that's the thing. I was just like, why does that look like a thumb? Well, because, like, at the moment, I'm getting some more shadow color. You know, it may be reading that way. And the reason it may be reading that way is because of its positioning. And so you just keep fussing, trying to make sure.
Fingers
your
are
little-
definitely a challenge for people.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody.
Well, for me and Ginger, it is. She's like, I can't do fingers at all. They look like sticks. Well, actually, my art looks like sticks.
John won't paint.
I'm a stick art man.
It's not his thing. Even when we were in art school together, he wasn't really into the painting. He likes miniature painting.
I do. I like miniature painting. I like
Pretty good
sculpting.
miniature painting artist. In all canonicness, he's pretty darn good at his miniatures. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm feeling okay with that overall. Like you do. I've got so many brushes I got to take to the spa.
I have to do a day.
Well, yes. Got to do a day. I'm going to take a couple. I'm gonna get one of these out because I got to get this in.
All right. So what
And
we
these
doing
are
next?
not at the spa. I'm going to start putting in my face.
The face.
The face. And to do that, one of the things is like just finding the planes or blocks and values that you have there. So I'm taking a little of my ochre, as you can see, in white. I may even start getting into my zinc here because that'll be slightly transparent over the titanium, and that way I can come up in layers. And I'm going to do something like, I know above my eyes, right? I know above my eyes that this is going to be lighter on the forehead. Right? Foreheads
Oh,
are
yeah.
lighter. So I'm just like, I'm going to lighten that up a bit because it needs to be lightened up a bit. So actually, it's really interesting. I'll take my base skin tone into this. I might adjust it over here, like you do. But I'm really mixing it into the zinc, so I'm getting a more transparent set of experiences. And I'm going to just, make sure that I've got this nice light area on my forehead. Because foreheads be light. Because the light is hitting it. We're all just a ball. Just taking some zinc, and I'm just playing here. This is fun for me. Hopefully it's fun for you.
Mm-hmm. We're all just egg-shaped faces trying to get by in the world.
We're all just egg-shaped faces trying to get by in the world. We're actually not all egg shapes either. And we're not all 8 heads. There's generalizations, but you really have to just be present to that people and nature and things come in a variety of
Shapes.
everything, yeah.
Sizes.
Variety of shapes, sizes, everything.
I like that. I like seeing the diversity in the paintings.
I'm going to come below my nose line. So if you remember, you divide your face, like from the top of the head to here, I've divided it in half. There's my eyes. I've divided from here to here in half again. There's my nose. And I divide from my nose and chin, and about there is my mouth. And I'm going to just put in this sort of almost cartoonish, and then if there's a line, right, and it comes down through there. So that's going to help me come above my eyebrow line. And I'm not really doing it, and the reason I'm doing it in burnt umber is so I know where it is. See?
Yep.
And that's going to let me, as I'm going. Oops, a little aggressive. It doesn't matter, but it's a little aggressive there. Went a little far in. Right? Know where I'm planning on putting my objects. And I'm actually going to move my lip up a little bit, but I want to have it there. Okay. That's fun. So now I've kind of given myself some guidance about where I think I might possibly be in a minute. And I've got a lot of dress to put in. Let's make sure this really got back to big spa day. And I've dropped my towel, Mr. Cooney.
Yeah.
And I need a microwave. Oh, what a day. What a day. What a day, what a day, what a day. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get this mauve going on this dress. I'm going to get it sketched in. I'm going to probably just keep using this, what would normally be too small of a brush, and block in the rest of her at least, right?
Okay.
And so I've got to come up with a mauve. And I strongly feel like my mauve is some combo of a little bit of the diox in my alizarin crimson. I'm going to even add a little quinacridone to it and a smidge of I need white here. And I'm going to just, look at that. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just make some of the dress color. And I'm going to block a lot of that in. And we know it's going to be a highlight. Now, one of the things I want you to pay attention to when you're doing the dress is the directionality of the ruching on the garmentry, because that is going to really inform a great deal. And we know that would come up here, and we're going to just roush through here, and then it's going to come straight down. So I'm just trying to capture the directionality of the folds of the fabric. I'm not going to worry about painting them all out now any more than I would have to. I'm just going to be paying attention to them as they come around. I'm looking for, how is my fabric roushed?
Yeah, I remember what someone told us how to pronounce that once, but I forgot again.
Yeah.
It's not how I think it is, so I'm going to guess it's ruche.
Ruche?
Because I think it's Roush.
Okay. Ruche.
So it's probably ruche.
Probably ruche.
Because every time I think I know what I'm...
See, I give the internet plenty of stuff to be all in arms about. Just on my own, organically.
Now, you're putting some stroke direction there.
Yeah, it's very important, like I said, just to pay attention to the direction of that.
And that's so you can imply the shape?
That's so I can imply the shape.
Now, we have some fashion designers with us today.
Do we?
Yes.
Then they know, and they can say those words.
They know the words. I'm a fan of fashion design.
I am too. If you guys are fashion designers, I don't know if this is exciting to you, but it might be, because I always have artists that I like. Zoe Hong has a channel. Just saying. She's some really great content, like really great. It's not even content. I hate calling it content. They forget us to call it content, don't they? Just like, I'll make content, I make art. And then everyone looks at you like,
what are you getting there?
I'm going to get a slightly bigger brush. I'm going to get a number 4. Because I feel like the number 2 is just going to take me way too long. So I'm just getting back into that base mixture that I had made, which is alizarin, a titch of purple, the titch of the Prussian, some quinacridone, and the alizarin. And that's like the base color of the dress. I'm getting some white. I'm going to just make sure that I can get this base painted in like you do. I don't know if you've been you've had such a slam week. I don't know if you've gotten to be in Big Art Quest group, but some of the artwork there is just fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it. What do I mean? Some of it. All of it is fantastic. I'm just tired, guys.
And if you haven't,
I was actually just thinking how Big Art Quest group never gives me any problems and runs so smoothly, and I'm so grateful for it. It's so much easier to deal with than Tazo, and I got lost in that thought. Everybody's painting is fantastic.
And you know what? I was just like, I love seeing every paintings that we get in here. It's one of my favorite things, and. You know, if you guys can, please share your paintings up on like our Facebook page, our website, TheArtSherpa.com, Pinterest, Instagram, anywhere you can get to them, because I love seeing those. Love seeing all those pictures.
Yeah, very much.
You just spun the dress around her there with that little bit of stroke there.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because it's like this twist, and I'm just gonna make sure now the shadow is gonna be on this inside, and it's gonna be a highlight out there. But, you know, we got to layer up.
No, I'm gonna say
Now, have I given her some badonkadonk? Yes, I did. But that's my thing. If you've been with me for a while, you know, we all got, I do that. That's not new. I
Right.
could take you back to my college art
it's true.
and and the round bottoms
That's
has been like a thing.
it's true.
It's super true.
I hadn't thought about that.
It's so true. It's sad. I'm going to get a little more of my dark skin tone color.
You know what? One of my favorite things about being here live.
Just making, even though I know there's a whole bunch of branch and hair and everything, I just don't want there to be a weird pop.
You're shading that in.
Just if look, I got a whole bunch of stuff going over it, right?
Yeah.
But if it's here and if I put it in a skin tone and any little peak of it peeks out, then everybody will have a better looking spot. I'm just adding that shadow to the neck a little bit. Because I've still got to come and add the black hair. But to add, because the black hair comes over in painting, right? You've got a couple ways you can roadmap your way through a challenge. So you can paint the furthest objects back and then define them as they move forward into your visual space. You can put all the objects in and very carefully work around them. I'm of the mind that I like to work back and pull things forward, and that's what makes me really happy. But it doesn't mean like one is intrinsically correct or incorrect. If that makes a sense. Hopefully it does.
I think so.
She has little tiny elf hands.
Little tiny elf hands.
She has little tiny elf hands. Her hands are extremely tiny.
That's cool though.
I'm going with it. I have decided it is what it is, and I'm going with it. She has really tiny little hands. They happen. Small hands happen. Small hands happen. I need this to be a little darker than the rest, and then I'll lighten it up as I roush this way. But I want to come under here.
You know, one of the greatest things about our community is just when you think
Just that they're the most awesome ever.
just when you think that they've got you convinced that you know how you're saying it, somebody comes along with just an interesting enough explanation and pronunciation that it might be different, like ruche.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, now you're gonna make me think twice again. But yeah, they think we've got it right. Ruching.
Ruching.
Something
Okay.
in there.
Good to know. Good to know.
But they're keeping me on my toes for sure.
All right. So I got to talk to everybody here who's in the Big Art Quest group.
Okay.
All right, guys. If you've decided to join the Facebook group as a way to socialize and share your artwork, right? It is absolutely a super safe space to share your art. You're not going to get criticism or any of that. But I'd like to add, in all fairness, it is Facebook. And what I have learned after all of my time on social media is that all drama on the internet originates at Facebook.
No, you just blended that up there.
I did.
Okay.
I just added a shadow all the way through here.
Okay.
So like I'm just going and like the colors are kind of transparent and see how I'm. This is also sometimes called blushing on a canvas. If I'm sitting here and I take pigment and I just sort of blend it in this like, this isn't even scumbling, this is blushing. I can do it with sponges or tissues or all kinds of way, but I'm just rubbing a slight tone of pigment into the canvas. This is really popular among floral painters. We're going to be covering some of these techniques more soon.
Yeah.
But it's going to help us create shape. So
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and John's going to microwave my coffee.
Oh, okay.
Okay. If you're in our group, all drama on all of the internet starts on Facebook. And I now have a theory that it begins in groups. So all I'm going to ask you to do is, if you're a hardcore Sherpa and you love painting with us and you are in group, if anything ever happens that you're just like, I was in group and now I'm not, anything at all just happens, just write us at help@heartparty. Just definitely do that, because Facebook is crazy. They have new tools. There's tools that don't work well with it, that just bump everybody out. There's stuff that's happening. You've got to have guidelines and group. There's all kinds of crazy things going on and on and on. So just let's make a deal. If you're going to come in my group, totally happy to have you. Just give us the benefit of the doubt. And if there's anything weird, just write us, because honestly, we do a lot to fix it. And I don't want to shut them down. And here's why. I love them. For all the craziness that happens, seeing you guys talk to each other me getting to talk to you and see your paintings the way that we get to there, it's a gift. I love seeing everything on Instagram and Twitter, and I think each space has its own kind of connection. I was talking to John, we go back and forth about this as a learning space, right? Because for me, my groups are like a learning space, like we're all talking about the class. It's like going to coffee after class and all having a nice little nosh and talking about things, and you guys can show me what you've got going on, and I'm in there all the time, like looking. But just remember, it's the source of all the crazy things. So if anything crazy happens, just, log out for a while. Give us about, at worst, like if everybody has been at the dentist and I've got 6 kids, it's 6 hours at most. Just give us a little time. We always fix it.
Yep.
We do, because I'm really committed to keeping that a safe art space that's a student positive zone. So a lot of the shenanigans, I got it.
Gotcha.
Just might take me a minute to get there because, eating and life and stuff like that. We have a lot of mods that try really, really hard. So that being said, I cannot wait to see everybody's stuff. Big Art Quest is actually my favorite of my groups because
You're wiping
it's
off
very chill. See, I did it again. It's deep, 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 and it goes swishy, 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 swishy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was a weird thing to say. You'll have to tell me the feedback, John.
No, it's okay. I think it's our community. Look, you guys this is part 3 of a lesson. So if you're here, you're deep community with us.
One would hope so.
We love you guys. Everything that's going on here should not be new.
It shouldn't be new. It should not be new. I really try to get messages. The other things to know.
I'm gonna have to adjust that camera.
Do we? Okay, I moved it too. Okay. The other things to know, I'm going to keep talking while John is here, is that the reason why I keep encouraging the help at Heart Party is that Facebook has this weird system where if you're not connected to me in a particular way, I don't actually get the message. It does not give it to me. It puts it in this weird folder. And sometimes I can get to it depending on if everything's working very well. Did you guys notice that I took all my purple and I made a very, very light purple? I'm going to just create a little bit of a highlight here on my dress. Yes, on my dress. And then I'll have to make the pink one come around. I just want to make sure I have this beautiful highlight. And I'm using, see how this brush is kind of all scruffy and crazy? I'm using that to my advantage. Believe it or not, these bristles must seem, if you're very new, to be just like insane. Look how that one's like sticking out and all this stuff is happening. It might seem frustrating to you as a new artist. But what's actually here is that these real hairs are what's called flagged. And the way that they hold and distribute paint allows me to be very painterly like I am now. So it's weirdly a feature, not a fault. If you have a brush doing this, don't get rid of it, please. Keep it, because they're your baby. That's a good brush. It's a good brush. That brush is going to do things for you can't believe. See how we're just adding this highlight to her dress and we're just pulling it down. Oh, I'm so relaxed. I needed this. It was a crazy day.
Yeah.
I needed this time with you guys. I needed to retouch with my art family and just connect because, just a crazy, crazy, crazy day. I'm all the time with John like, I just got to teach art in person, one person at a time.
So,
Hug everybody.
What are you blending there with?
I'm just still, what do you mean?
It went a little darker there.
Oh, well, do you see how this is all mixed up?
So it's lighter on one side of the brush and darker on the other. That's why it went darker there.
So sometimes, and you'll see me and a bunch of artists doing this, we'll be painting along and we'll realize we have a dark spot of paint and we think, well, that would look really nice over here. And then we just start going.
Yeah.
That I would say is more the difference between, experienced artists and new artists is like these little moments are just opportunities for me. I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. Let's get into that. All right, I'm adding a little more quinacridone in here.
I'm sorry I keep asking for things like that, but it's like I just
Oh, no, I love the questions, and everybody needs you to ask. I can't see the comments. I love what you're doing. I love it.
I love what you're doing.
I love what you're doing.
So this is convenient.
It is super convenient. I love everything you do, so this is such a good relationship.
Right,
so I'm just adding this slightly higher highlight here. I'm just working my dress because I really like my dress. Now, if I were a hyper-realist, right? If that was my jam. If I were, and I can do it, by the way. It's not my favorite thing, but, I'm driven to have a lot of skills.
Right. So if you were going to do it, though.
If I was going to do it, I would actually do this entire process differently. I probably would have gridded this out. I would have worked small, resolved, moved, resolved, move, resolved, move. I would capture every wrinkle very authentically. And I would be at this for a couple 100 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I didn't choose to not be a hyperrealist as my focus, right? Like a lawyer or a doctor that has a focus. Because I couldn't do it, I chose that I liked this way of painting because for me, the emotional quality of life, the way I like to talk about that emotional quality in those relationships, is looser and like a dream and a little more ephemeral. I am, at some point, some crazy point, like I do all these crazy videos that we've talked about. At some point, I'll be like, here, I'll show you hyperrealism. We'll paint an egg that you can pick, or like something that you could eat and look at and looks really real. It'll be like a weird, long, live day that we're just like at it forever and ever and ever and ever. And I'll just show you. And then you guys will be like, oh, yeah, that's not my thing.
No.
But some of you might be like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. I got to go find all these channels. And then I will show you all the best hyperrealism channels and I will help you out because
Now,
I
is that titanium
love it when
white?
you guys do well. I'm adding more white.
Okay, it's titanium white, right?
Titanium white. I'm not really doing that much zinc on the dress. If that makes sense.
Now, let me ask you there. On the other side of the dress where you just touched in there, see how it got lighter under her right armpit? See, it looks like it's brighter pinkier there.
It is. I had it too dark, but you can still see that dark value, and then
Yeah.
it comes up.
And
Okay, I
this-
hear snapping. Is that you? Because remember, I don't do subtle cues well.
No, it's not me snapping.
Okay.
I'm not snapping anything.
Sometimes, okay, so like as a married couple, like if my
Oh my
pants are
gosh.
down, John will give me quiet hand signals to say your zipper's down. But unfortunately, I have no idea what any of his hand signals mean. So he's just flailing around wildly, and I'll just be like, I don't know what's happening.
We have the worst couple secret language
Ever.
Like we have the opposite of whatever secret language
Language
couples
couples
have. It's like we have I'm going to explain to everyone in the room what I want Cinnamon to secretly know about, and she's going to guess wrong every time until everybody tells her.
Actually, we have the worst couple secrets, period.
We just do. We just
We
can't
do.
it.
When we were trying to have our first child, we went through the whole fertility dance. If you've ever had to go through that, it's quite an experience, and I want to hug you.
Wait, so tell them what you do first.
Okay, I'm just continuing to highlight the space with this lighter pink, and I'm pulling it down at a diagonal, and I'm just pulling softly each stroke. I'm sorry, I'm being more social today, guys.
No, we are.
I'm
It's not-
pulling it down each stroke.
I'm with you. I'm just making sure that because we're this is good.
I'm just trying to catch this feeling of this delicate wrap that's around her, that it's almost magical.
It is. That's what I see, and that's what you pulled purple up into your white there instead of the white down into your purple.
I don't know.
Did
I?
You're up working in your white there more with that.
Yeah, I just want to keep at least this part of the hip. I'm going to just keep pulling this in because I just really want this to be sort of really this. I'm going to get into my zinc maybe a little and hit it here.
And this is more.
And I've got this weird sash that I'm going to do. So I'm going to rinse this out. Rinse, 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 rinse. And then I've got to take it across. And I'm going to keep working this dress because I'm really enjoying working this dress. And I can't put any hair on her till I get the dress worked out. So I'm going to reactivate whatever color is left. But I see that not a lot is left. And so now I'm going to go remix. See, if you're an oil painter, that would all still be good. But you would be dealing with all the challenges the oil painters deal with. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I'm going to come get a little of my white.
No one is necessarily intrinsically better than the other. Just your
No.
preference.
I mean, I feel like it is,
We all
but I know
feel
I
that,
know
though.
that is my bias. So here's the thing. As an artist, I have a bias to water-based media, such as watercolor or acrylic. But I objectively understand that no particular media is better than the other. But I have a bias, so that's why I paint it. It's my bias.
So it's not fair to say sculptors rule and painters drool.
Well, I have to tell you right now, sculptors do say that right to your face. So if you were hoping for that sort of media respect, you won't be getting it.
I remember I went to art college too.
You did.
Actually, I meant to a couple there.
I think that there's some similar I have some friends that are doctors, and I have felt a long time that there's some similar shading that happens between art practices and medical practices.
Now, speaking of shading, you shaded the left side of that belt there with lighter.
With a darker color, and then I added a highlight, and that's helping me round the belt right across here. So add a little more white here to this darker value to continue. Now I'm going to add a shadow under both these places, and I'm going to start adding some shadows in the wrinkles.
Okay.
Now, my shadow, I'm going to just get right into these two, right? I may or may not add the, I'm going to get some glaze.
Julie loves that this is almost like a lavender pink.
Oh, it's just, I realized I was looking at my calendar for the upcoming schedule, and I'm like, apparently this year was brought to you by the color purple. Which is so weird because then Pantone had said like that was the color of the year, and I'm like, I'm a trendsetter. I totally caused this. But John explained to me that they probably picked that last year, so.
Yeah, well, we spot some things coming, and you sometimes you see them. You're like, hey, I see it.
We're scheduled out through like March or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going to find some spots under here, right? And I'm going to talk about some of these deep shadows on some of the folds of the fabric. I'm going to use my glaze, right? I could thin with water, but the glaze is going to keep the integrity of my paint the best. Even though that these are made to be thinned with water. Glazes, the mediums, just keep the integrity of your paint the best, the longest.
Right.
And I'm going to just do some of that. I'm going to shade that there. How are we doing?
Good. That's really good.
Isn't that really good? I love my questers. You guys are just the best. My little pears, my faces, my fairy tales. Just the best. Love them.
Adding a little more shadow there underneath that.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going with the glaze. You guys are so brave. Brave, brave, brave. You're like, I'm up for it. Let's go for it.
Everyone here in chat's having a great time.
I love that we have a great time doing art.
They're asking. So
I'm just going to continue to find these little folds. I'll probably be heavier down here and lighter as I come up top.
So if you couldn't tell by my earlier comment, I went to art school for sculpture.
Yep.
And they were asking in chat what I went to school for. So
well,
I was just responding.
You started out as a high energy physics. Well, no, you started out as a theater major, and then you switched to high energy physics, and then when we started dating, you got into the arts.
Well, no, in high school I was in theater arts, and then I went to college first for astrophysics, and then because nobody did astrophysics, I had to go to high energy physics because that's a lot more common. And then I met a pretty girl who was into art, and I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting stuff. And after college, actually, I went back to school for art.
You did. He did. He actually went back. He loved it. It was very, very, I think you loved honestly, sculpture is a very exciting practice. There's fire. There's near certain depth.
What are you doing there, though, painter?
I am taking a little of my zinc, and I haven't changed out my pigment. And see how I'm just I'm like grab zinc, 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 zinc.
Okay.
And I'm softening some of this because I don't want to lose my softness. And see how I'm doing? I'm just like, I'm going, yes, this is a technical description. But what I'm making this sort of motion back and forth, and every once in a while I just sort of touch this. Just gave myself dentist trauma right now. That was not the right noise to make. Triggered. And I'm just trying to, talk about the way that this fabric is. That's looking lovely.
It looks really good.
I'm going to take a minute and contemplate that and look at it as it's coming in. How are we doing on time?
Well, we just ran over our little hour mark. I know.
Okay. So I really like to keep these to about an hour because I think that's super digestible. The only class that might go over is the next class. And if I really, really think it is, we might bump and have one extra, but I think we're going to be able to do it in next class. She's not too far from being done, and we're going to do the front leaves, which are going to be kind of done in this methodology. So I think we'll be okay. So worst case scenario, next week is going to be a little longer, but I think most of these are best kept to an hour.
Yep, this was great. Everyone's had a great time here. We love having you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
You're amazing. I really cannot tell you how amazing you are. And I am really glad to be here for you. And never, never worry that I'm getting tired teaching art.
Yep.
I am not tired from teaching art. You guys give me the strength and wind to just keep going and fly. And I'm so excited about everything we're doing.
And can
Be
I
good
say-
to yourselves. What?
I was gonna say, I want to say that because the days that we chat more are the days you guys help us feel better. To be honest, we feel better the days where we chat with you more sometimes. So thank you for indulging us this.
Thank you. You are literally the best.
Yeah.
Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Keep your loved ones safe in this crazy, crazy world. And I want to see you at the easel really soon.